Guantanamo Bay. The name conjures images of stark prison cells and endless legal battles. Located on Cuban soil, leased by the United States, it has become synonymous with the controversial War on Terror. Established in 2002 under President George W. Bush, the detention facility was initially intended to house suspected terrorists captured in Afghanistan and Iraq. Over 2 decades, it has held nearly 800 detainees, the vast majority without trial. The facility's early years were marked by allegations of torture, indefinite detention, and legal limbo for those imprisoned. Images of orange jumpsuits and forced feedings sparked outrage worldwide, tarnishing America's image and raising profound questions about human rights. Despite attempts by both the Obama and Biden administrations to close the facility, it remains operational, a stark reminder of a contentious chapter in American history. Today, only 15 detainees remain from the original cohort. However, President Trump's recent announcement to detain migrants at Guantanamo has reignited the debate surrounding the facility's purpose and ethical implications. This decision marks a significant shift from its original intent, raising concerns about its potential use as a holding ground for vulnerable populations fleeing hardship and seeking asylum. As the world grapples with complex migration challenges, Guantanamo Bay stands as a stark symbol of the struggle to balance security concerns with humanitarian principles. Its future remains uncertain, a microcosm of the larger debate about global security, human rights, and the rule of law. Guantanamo's history is one of evolving justifications and shifting populations. Initially designed to hold enemy combatants in the aftermath of 9/11, the facility's focus is now turning towards migrants. This change reflects a broader trend in the United States, with immigration increasingly framed as a national security threat. Under the Bush administration, Guantanamo housed high-profile figures like Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the self-proclaimed mastermind of the 9/11 attacks. The facility became synonymous with indefinite detention without trial, a legal gray zone that drew condemnation from human rights groups worldwide. While the Obama administration made efforts to close Guantanamo, transferring some detainees to other countries, congressional opposition ultimately prevented its closure. President Trump's recent announcement to detain migrants at Guantanamo marks a significant departure from its original purpose. This decision comes amidst a crackdown on illegal immigration, including increased border security, raids, and deportations. The Trump administration argues that this measure is necessary to deter illegal immigration and protect national security. The shift towards detaining migrants at Guantanamo raises concerns about the facility's suitability for housing vulnerable populations, including families and children. Critics argue that this move further blurs the lines between fighting terrorism and managing migration, potentially undermining due process and human rights. Guantanamo Bay has been a lightning rod for controversy since its inception, drawing condemnation from human rights organizations and international bodies. The facility has been criticized for its use of indefinite detention without trial, harsh interrogation techniques, and inadequate access to legal counsel. Amnesty International has repeatedly called for the closure of Guantanamo, citing it as a symbol of human rights shame. The organization argues that the facility's very existence undermines the rule of law and sets a dangerous precedent for the detention of individuals without due process. The United Nations has also expressed concerns about Guantanamo, with several UN special rapporteurs calling for its closure and an end to indefinite detention. The Cuban government has consistently opposed the presence of the Guantanamo Bay detention facility on its soil, considering it an illegal occupation. They have repeatedly called for the return of the land to Cuban sovereignty, arguing that the facility's presence violates international law. The Cuban government has also condemned the Trump administration's decision to detain migrants at Guantanamo, calling it a flagrant violation of human rights. Despite widespread criticism, the Guantanamo Bay detention facility remains operational. Its continued existence raises questions about the United States' commitment to human rights and the rule of law. As the debate over Guantanamo's future continues, it serves as a stark reminder of the challenges in balancing national security with the protection of fundamental human rights. Guantanamo Bay stands at a crossroads, its future uncertain. President Trump's decision to detain migrants there injects new urgency into the long-standing debate over its closure. The facility's legacy, already fraught with controversy, is further complicated by this latest development. The legal and ethical implications of detaining migrants at Guantanamo are significant. Critics argue that holding migrants, particularly families and children, in a facility designed for suspected terrorists raises serious human rights concerns. They argue that this move risks replicating the legal limbo that plagued many detainees held there during the War on Terror. The international community is watching closely, with many expressing concern over the potential for human rights abuses. The decision to detain migrants at Guantanamo could further strain relations with key allies, many of whom have long criticized the facility's existence. The Biden administration has pledged to close Guantanamo, but faces an uphill battle against congressional opposition and logistical challenges. The stakes are high. Guantanamo Bay's future is not just about bricks and mortar, but about the soul of American justice. It represents a fundamental question. Can the United States uphold its commitment to human rights while addressing legitimate security concerns? The answer will have profound implications not just for those detained within its walls, but for America's standing in the world.